trying to be sure all the flour gets mixed in. Howdy folks, and welcome to Hershberger's Miracle Homestead. I am Martha, and we're having kitchen action today. What we're tackling today is chocolate chip cookies. The recipe will be in the description box. I'm making a double batch. What will be in the description box is for a single recipe. But we have several different places these cookies are going to be taken. In the mixing bowl, I have the Crisco and the butter or margarine. And the butter margarine, you will want it room temperature, so it's the consistency that your Crisco is, softened. And then we'll need the eggs, and you also want that at room temperature. And then pure vanilla extract, baking soda, salt, brown sugar, white granulated sugar, all-purpose flour, and we sift ours. And the star of the show is the chocolate chips. So we are ready to get started to mix these up. I have the paddle attachment on our KitchenAid. Now I like to give that a little mix. And now we can add the sugars. Made a mess. But that's okay, because messes can usually be cleaned up. We'll give this a mix, starting it gently or it's going to come up and over. Now we add the eggs one at a time. I'm going to give this all a good scrape down, and then we'll have it mixed for about 5 minutes just to get everything whipped light and fluffy. And for me, it's just easier most times to take it off of the mixing stand to scrape it down good. I'm going to mix this on a medium to high speed for 5 minutes. I'm doing this just so I can show you. This is exactly how we like this to look, light and fluffy. It's beautiful. Okay, we're going to add our vanilla, salt, and baking soda. And we'll give this a mix. We're giving it one more mix before we add it to the flour, and then I will fold that in by hand. So one quick. Just this part without the flour has a mixer full. So just dump this in here. If you've been watching our videos very long, you know that I like to wear gloves for projects like this where I have to get down into the batter to mix up. So I'm putting the glove on. And also, if you've been watching our videos very long, you know there's some things that our buddy cannot have, which includes chocolate chips. He's better off without those. So after I have this all mixed together, before I add the chocolate chips, I will put some in here so we can have special cookies for Buddy. Okay, we'll give this a mix. All right, we need a vote here. We have a few butterscotch chips here. And Dorothy would like to see if Buddy would want cookies with butterscotch chips to him. We know he loves them in just the plain dough. So what do you think? Should we offer Buddy a cookie with the butterscotch chips in? Or just stick to what we know he likes?
I vote to make a few with butterscotch chips.
Dorothy's vote is to make a few with butterscotch chips, and then the rest of the way we know that he likes. It used to be at one time when we'd offer him food that he didn't care for, he'd hand it back and say, "Baba." I about forgot about that. But he won't do that anymore, I don't think. Yeah, he sure did. He'd hand it back and say, blah, blah. So we knew he didn't really like that, but he's easy to cook for. He enjoys mostly any food. Okay, I'm trying to be sure all the flour gets mixed in. So there's no dry flour at the bottom of the pot when I'm making the cookies, and that has happened. Those are for Buddy's Those are for Buddy's regular.
2 or 3 to see how he likes it.
And for a few, do you have the butterscotch chips there?
I'll get it.
Okay. Let's put just a few. Okay. We can try it. And then we'll have to read body language or expression or something to see if he likes it. This also reminds me of, we have a brother that lived in Colorado. We knew he was coming. We knew he loved chocolate chip cookies. So we thought, well, we're going to do a grand favor for him. And when we know he's coming to the house here, we're going to have warm chocolate chip cookies coming out of the oven, only to find out he likes it after the chocolate chips are hard again. That's how he likes it best. So after that, when we were doing chocolate chip cookies for him, we didn't bother about having him nice and warm when he came. Just to scrape down the edge a little bit. You may be wondering why I'm putting wrap across it. You see there's a little bit of daylight outside yet? Till I get to actually baking, it'll probably be what my uncle used to call dark 30. Because it's time to do the chores, the dog chores. So I want to go take care of them. Otherwise, you're going to have Juliana letting me know that it is time to change everybody out. By changing everybody out, we have 3 different pens, 3 different sizes, so we rotate him through the day. One of the last things we do at night when we do the chores is rotate him again. So Juliana is not happy until she's rotated and knows she's where she's supposed to be for the night.
Did you sing that song?
And then I sing a little song to him before they have their treats, so I'll see if it'll work out that I can get that in and include that in here. Have a good night, Juliana. Have a good night. Have a good night, Theo. Have a good night. Both of you are very special and we love you oh so much. Have a good night. Our dogs, have a good night. Preachers, Miss Juliana Hershey. Juliana. Captain Theodore Montgomery. Theo. Good job. Well, the dog chores are done. I think they're all happy. And now we're back to baking the cookies. And when we did a lot of baking for festivals and going to the market and all, most of our things we grease with Crisco, the old-fashioned way yet. And this is exactly what this tub of Crisco is for. We keep our rag in there and it's just saturated with Crisco. And for the cookies, it's just a light thing of putting Crisco on the pan. We have 3 size cookie scoops, and medium is what I normally use. We know that a lot of children are going to be eating the cookies. Sometimes they use a little one. Bigger one is just used for random things. It is just about 9:30, which is time for Buddy singing on YouTube or whatever kind of singing we have on for him, which often it's a living room sing-along. These are Buddy's regular cookies. And it's time for cookies for Buddy, so I'm going to start out with his so he can have fresh cookies. And then these are the cookies that have butterscotch chips in them. And we'll see how he likes them. The oven is preheated to 370 for 11 to 12 minutes. Now, because of copyrights, And it is time for Buddy to have something on that has volume and not just watching something. I'm going to be turning the speakers off and just working because it's putting cookies on the sheet and in the oven, on the cooling racks, and then a repeat. Buddy readily ate his cookies, but we could not determine if he preferred one over the other. Sometimes we have to shift gears a little bit and go to plan B. And that's what happened this evening. It's getting too late to finish baking these because they need to be cooled and bagged yet as well. So I just put the rest of the cookie dough in here, we'll put the lid on and put it in the refrigerator, and then we can pull it out and bake it tomorrow. So that's plan B. Well, the cookies are either baked and bagged or baked and on the cooling rack. If you make them, I hope you enjoy them as much as we do. We thoroughly enjoy them. And putting them in the freezer and pulling them back out, it might be our imagination, but we think we almost like them better that way. So yeah, we don't mind at all cookies that have been in the freezer and come out. I always think it does a little bit something extra special to them. After these are cooled, I will put them in bags. Again, I thank you for joining me in the kitchen. So we thank you, and I know we've had some new subscribers again since our last video. We welcome you. We hope you enjoy your journey with us as part of our YouTube family. All right, here we have cookies for the freezer, a platter full of cookies. Whew. Which end up going in bags in the freezer, but I just wanted it on the platter for the profile picture and all. Stay on there, cookie. Now a tip, to put them in the freezer, you want to be able to suck the air out of the bag. And the way we do it is simply by a straw. Close the bag and then pop it open in the corner and put your straw in and then pull the air out. Now, the reason I like to have it in the glass or have it in something, so the same end always goes in the bag. That way any germs that get on the end of the straw from being in your mouth sucking up do not go in the next bag. But if you keep it there, and you automatically know that goes in the bag. Put it back in the next bag, that goes in the bag. So I thank you for joining me in the kitchen as we put these cookies together. Now I invite you to stay tuned for the golden thought. Hi, and we welcome you to the golden thought of this episode. I am Martha, and I'm here with our brother, my twin brother. Yeah, Dottie's going to get some groceries, isn't she? We have a pickup order. He's watching Dottie walk down the ramp. Dottie is Dorothy, by the way. I will be reading a verse out of Isaiah 40:31, one of my favorite verses. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And that's powerful. When we wait on the Lord, we will mount up with wings as eagles, and we will run and not be weary, and we will walk and not faint. That's an awesome thing that we as a child of God have, that we can wait on the Lord, and as we're waiting, we can have peace. Isn't that right, buddy? That's right. We thank you for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed the video, been blessed and inspired. With that, we'll bring this episode to a close. Thank you, and God bless.